Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is another one. Gathering the Old Men podcast. Myself, TP, DK is on the way. Marlo is on the way. Special guest, Fang Exchange. Miss Woods, Miss Ashley. Today, it's going down. TP, it ain't been right without the theme music. It ain't been right. But it's classic week. It's classic week. Day long. And I've been trying to be a good Christian. I have. I've been trying to be a good Christian as best I can. But God ain't done working with me yet. So y'all, give me some grace. Give me some grace. All right, so starting off the day, apparently, I gotta take this off. It ain't right to have that on when I talk about that. Apparently, Mike Norville decided to go on the RG3 podcast and talk about what was acceptable and what was unacceptable. Heavy is the head to wear the crown. Heavy is the head to wear the crown. Except we don't believe you. You ain't never been that. It's 5 seasons, 3 losing. We 1-9 right now. You going on a podcast after you threw Atkins under the bus because we didn't tell him to take that boy to Spear. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that name. We didn't tell him to take him to the NIL CEO. We didn't tell him to do that, and he didn't just do it on his own. But he fell on the sword like a good soldier. He'll land on his feet. But on his way out the door, we lost some recruits, and Mike ain't never been known to hang on to some recruits. I don't know. I'm trying to be a better person, but y'all won't let me. That being said, TP, your Longhorns, I know you want to talk about how they should be in a better playoff position.
I'm scared.
What you scared of?
I'm scared right now.
You scared they're going to leave you out?
The SEC is what we all expected it to be. It is a dogfight to the very end. There are 6 teams right now in the SEC that have legitimate claims to the playoffs. I think 4 of them are in the top 10. But I think only 2 get in. With Tennessee losing to Georgia, that opens the door for Georgia to get back into the mix. Alabama owns the tiebreaker against Georgia. Georgia owns the tiebreaker against Texas. Have we lose to A&M? If we lose to A&M, I think we're done. And I think that's the scariest part about this whole season is the fact that we played well and we struggled in our one game against a high-ranked team, and then we just don't have the quality wins. For a better word, we haven't played anybody outside of Georgia. Michigan is now unranked. Vanderbilt is now unranked. 2 teams that were ranked when we played them, but it doesn't matter when it comes to the end of the season and you're looking at strength of schedule. A&M would be the only top 15 ranked team that we would beat if we were to beat them, but we would have the 1 loss, and that would guarantee us a spot in the SEC championship game. But with 2 losses, there's a good chance that we don't get in. And then that opens the door for a 3-loss team to get into the playoff. Because if we lose to A&M, that would mean that there would be 2 2-loss teams playing in the SEC championship game. And I can't see a world where we would leave out any team that made it to the SEC championship game. I think that's an accomplishment of its own, just to say that you made it to that game through the adversity that is the SEC. Ole Miss would have a claim. Alabama, Georgia, Texas, A&M. It's going down. And we just got to take care of business. I'm glad we're not playing Kentucky in Kentucky. Teams seem to have a rough time playing down there. I don't know what it is, especially in night games. They do not have a good time in Kentucky. So if we take care of business at home, then we win the battle for Texas against A&M, we're in. We lose that game, Our fate is no longer in our hands.
You know, Mike Stoops been complaining about Kentucky not having a good football NIL for some time. You know, it's one in Tallahassee. And I'm not saying that job open. I'm just saying the last time he was at Tallahassee, we won a national championship. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we know what
That,
Kentucky spend their money. That's the basketball school.
you know what? I ain't trying to get them people riled up because we done already touched on that before. So with it being Classic Week, having the ladies in the house, Fang Exchange, it has been my personal soapbox for player empowerment, player movement. Everybody's not a fan of it, but we're in a new age of college sports. Mm-hmm. And one of the great things that you rarely see at a HBCU is a active NIL program. And these ladies have a active NIL program. You can get you a hat. Marlo ain't got one of these. You can get you some shirts. You can get you some Krispy Kreme donuts. But ladies, first, how did you go from idea to inception? Like, where did the idea come from for Fang Exchange?
So the idea was one that's kind of been in its idea form for actually a couple of years now. Like, NIL is about 4 years old now. The idea was probably I'm going to say about like into year 2 of the NIL like emergence, and seeing how different schools look, because of course you saw it most notably at the Power 5 level, at those schools and conferences and those levels, and at HBCU level and at a FCS level you really weren't seeing it much. And we were, I was just sitting back, just like I saw many people expressing the need for it, but not many people putting the concept together and building something. And it's literally a building from the ground up type of situation. You don't just walk into NIL. It's not a shiny object type of fun all day, every day type of situation. You literally have to build it as if you're building like anybody who's an entrepreneur. If you ever built a company, you need a logo, you need a name. These are the very basic things you need: a logo, a name, a website, color scheme. You need to know who your target market is. You need to know what your product is. All the things you need, even if you're going out and starting a restaurant of sorts. It's the same concept. The difference is you're doing it in a charitable form. So non-profit, no profit, really. So you don't do it as the person who is forming it, building it, and working it. You don't do it for your own benefit. You really do it for the benefit of your university, and the benefit for the student athletes that you intend to serve, right? So our customers are the student athletes. So when we saw that at our level, it was kind of a foresight, because again, in college sports, most things start at the Power 5 level, and it's a trickle down effect. And I knew it was coming. Didn't know, you can't guess how fast it'll come, but it's coming. So to answer your question, the idea was already there. You kind of see it formulating and coming into its own as the rules change every week, every month for the first 3 years. We actually have had a pause for some months now, which is amazing on a lot of changes. But as you saw our formula, it's going to trickle down to us, just like everything else does. So that's kind of how we did it, and we just kind of hit the ground running after the idea, the name. We knew what the color scheme would be because we know who we're serving. So some of it was a given, but the other parts you literally had to like build blocks and bricks like you build a house and like you build a business.
All right, so I got a hat. I didn't get a hat when everybody else got their hat, but I got a hat shortly after everybody else got their hat. But I got it before Marlo. That's the most important thing. So you have hats. I saw some shirts for some players.
Yes.
I was trying to catch up with you during homecoming so I can slide me a shirt real quick. Mm-hmm. But our group, we parking lot bandits. So, we was out in the parking lot until my feet hurt, and then we dipped out of there. But I know we got shirts, and what other items do we have right now that are at the forefront of the NIL?
We have our latest venture is a partnership with Social House Vodka. And so there is a vodka. Now, Ashley and I are not drinkers.
That's the
However,
funny part.
that's the funny part. However, one of the other, there's another, of course, there's plenty of people that work, with us. That's the only way you can get this off the top. But there is a gentleman specific that works with us, and he is a vodka connoisseur, and he swears by the vodka. So we have a vodka, like you mentioned. Kelvin Dean has a partnership with Krispy Kreme, where you can go to a Tallahassee Krispy Kreme and get you a Dean dozen. Um, we have a few other partnerships that we're working on, but those are the ones that we have pretty much solidified and we're really pushing right now. Of course, the t-shirts that you mentioned are in collaboration with Fix My Soul, Elijah Rutland, who is also an alum of Florida A&M University, and he partnered with us, did a collaboration for the running back cozy shirts that are currently still on sale right now. And he has a few other shirts too, but that is the one specifically geared towards our athletes.
So TP, I'm gonna tell you how the whole vodka thing shook out in my mind, right? So I was in a group and I saw a teaser about a product coming, and it alluded to liquor, and I was like, "Ooh, please be gin," because I drink gin. I drink a lot of gin. I drink lots of different gins. Man, stop disrespecting gin. But so I was just, because your mind is racing, so I'm thinking everything from like a vodka, a gin, a brandy. Like my mind was just racing. So as we start getting closer and closer to homecoming, you start getting more excited, and finally it came out. I was like, ooh, them other people ain't got that.
Don't.
They don't.
I'm not taking shots. I'm just saying I was like, ooh, okay. So that intrigued me. So I like to tell my friends everything, especially when it comes to FAMU. It's because they give me so much information. When they don't have something, I be like, no, how you ain't know and I know. So one of my good friends, I say, hey, they got this vodka. Now I'm reaching out to Tasha because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try and get a bottle for homecoming, but I gotta see what this dude gonna do. I'm driving to Tallahassee, talking about, did you get a bottle? Bro, I asked you about that bottle 3 days ago. So now I'm trying to scramble around, but it is going to be Brew's birthday gift. I'm gonna get him a bottle. I mean, a Christmas gift.
That's a good Christmas gift.
I'm gonna get him a bottle. But that has me very excited because it isn't just about, oh, well, you get this and you get that. Your purchase is actually benefiting the player. You can see direct benefit.
Right.
And I cross Gain Street, I'm throwing money in the sky and have no idea sometimes where it's going until you get the rundown later on. But in this, I know exactly where it's going. And that's what was exciting for me. That was absolutely exciting for me. And so for y'all to, build this from the ground up, I'm like super excited every time y'all make an announcement. Like I'm on the edge of my seat because again, I'm petty. I'm gonna get on the phone and say, hey, they got this. So but Marlo has, I don't know if y'all can hear the conversation when we was coming on live. Marlo said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get me a hat too, because you can't just have one. And
Marlo, go get you need a hat, Marlo.
So but as we approach Classic, one, are y'all gonna have a booth, a station for Classic that I need to creep by? Because
So we'll have a station, not pertaining to the vodka, because you have to be careful about how you sell it. Of course, we got rules and guidelines, so we aren't out here just acting like a liquor store of sorts.
Right.
But we will be at the National Alumni Hotel along with Elijah Rutland. Those shirts will be there. We'll have hats on hand as well. We will possibly be able to kind of do a QR code exchange and give you more information about the vodka partnership. It won't be any physical bottles for me to just hand out
Right.
to the masses as they walk by. That's something that we regulated. We can't just do that.
Right.
But the other beautiful thing is that the Social House as an organization has recently partnered with some Florida distributors. So we are looking to have these bottles in places that you can just walk into a store, walk into a restaurant, walk into a bar, and purchase rather than having to do the mail form of things. Right now, that's the best method for now. But soon come there will be a time where you can just literally walk into a particular stores and get a purchase of it.
And I want to add too that we. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying I wanted to add that when you were talking about how this this endeavor, we are the first HBCU to partner with Social House in order to get this vodka. So
And
there
only
are
right now.
the only one. And when the announcement was made, the CEO, he kind of hit us up like, man, we got a couple of people, a couple of HBCUs that hit him up, but we are the first and the only right now. He does have partnerships with big brand schools like Florida State, their collective, but FAMU is the first and only HBCU right now. Well, Fang Exchange. Let me say that.
Fang Exchange. Yeah, out of
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 collectives that they partner with through NIL for these universities. FAMU is literally the only FAMU
HBCU.
through Fang Exchange, should I say, is the only NIL collective that has this partnership, which proves and shows that they value who we are as a fan base and alumni base. And they've seen the numbers thus far, as far as what the uptick from the timing of homecoming of a drop all the way leading up to now Classic's second or probably biggest game of the season. Classic and homecoming are always the two biggest games typically, unless we do postseason play. For us, so it's an opportune time, and what you'll see in the future, even when football season is over, and then we roll into the other sports that are currently active right now in spring and summer, we'll continue to do events and partnerships and roll out new things that still center around this vodka, because this doesn't just stop. This wasn't like 100 bottles and that's it. This is a multi-year partnership that doesn't happen at HBCU. So just keep that in mind. We talk about this all the time when we talk about deals and doing the right kind of deals and deals that favor our organizations that sometimes we don't always see. This is a multi-year partnership that they have invested in. We didn't have to put a dime into this. They believed in us first, so they're investing in us.
I say this all the time. Unlike other places, that brand be branded.
The brand is
That's right.
I'm gonna take a brief little break. In that break, I'm gonna play this for you. So I need to get this off my chest because we've been saying a whole bunch of names. Fuck Ed Rett, fuck Smith, fuck Christian McCaffrey's daddy.
Daddy? You don't like Ed?
No, I don't like Ed McCaffrey. I don't like none of them.
What Ed
Fuck
done
Tim
to
Tebow,
you?
fuck Chris Lee, fuck the mascot, fuck the cheerleader, fuck the second chair flute player, fuck the ticket taker, fuck all of them. It's go nose around here.
Wow. I mean, sometimes
again, God's still working on me, so forgive me. Forgive me. TP.
I just want to say, I think that it's an amazing thing that you ladies are doing. And there's one thing about having a brand is it gives you the opportunity to sell whatever you want to sell. You starting with hats, the donuts, the alcohol. There's so many different ventures that can be a part of it. And like you said, the immediate benefit, because we don't always know where booster money goes. And it may not be dedicated to the players. It might be dedicated to the school first. You know what I mean? You have other students that are not sports athletes. But this is primarily to benefit that certain group of people, the student athletes, because not all of them have the opportunity to work. And a lot of them don't have the time to work. So that is their job. And, when the school benefits from having these players, they should be compensated as well. And not only that, if you want to be competitive in the way that the world is moving forward, you have to be able to bring in the talent, which will, it again, enhance the product. It will enhance the brand. And I just think that that's an amazing thing that y'all are doing. And I think more schools should follow suit. You know, you pretty much, you build a blueprint. Hey, this is how we're doing it. And this is something that can be used to benefit all HBCUs. Because I know that they don't have the government funding like the public university. So that's what we in this world, you know, especially with, you know, the aftermath of this election. We don't know how the funding is going to be passed down if the Department of Education is disbanded. This is taking matters into your own hands, and that's how capitalism works. But yeah, yes, I appreciate all of that.
So I'm glad you brought that up, TP. Interesting story out of Tennessee. Apparently, Tennessee State is going to have to explain to the state of Tennessee how they're spending their money when the state of Tennessee owed them $2 billion.
Them $2 billion.
So, the audacity to sit there and say you're going to have to break it down to the studs.
The hypocrisy.
Yeah. And fire people. You got to fire. You have to fire some employees. Yeah.
Plus, they already got rid of 100 and some employees already. It is, God has granted grace to professionals in such high places because it could not be me. You're not gonna play in my face and have me asking you for money that you owe me.
Woo.
Yeah.
It wasn't funky $20 when I gave it to you, and it ain't funky $20 now. Give me my money so I can do what I need to do.
Right.
But you know, it's very, very interesting when states do stuff like that. And I am, if you know my story, I was a janitor at FAMU. There was these different muscadine products at the lab that they used to have us try. I graduated, moved on, but I had came back, and lo and behold, they had wine. As I became aware that the only way to get the wine was taste testing at the wine. I think I'm back. I don't think
you're kind of breaking
share
up.
the message.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I was saying, the only way to get the wine was at the wine event, which, if Gatorade is allowed to make ungodly sums of money, and you have a school who specializes in agricultural items, why wouldn't you let them sell that? Oh, wait, that would allow them to have a level of independence. All right, I got it. Never mind. Just forget what I had said. Forget what I had said. So rough loss this week at home. Rough loss this week at home.
Yeah.
But things don't happen in a vacuum. And I notoriously say on this podcast that school in Daytona gonna mess around and beat somebody in late October, early November, and then roll in the Classic talking noise. These them same people that was in Twitter Spaces talking about how they wanted to get rid of the coach.
Crying.
Now y'all brand new. Y'all brand new today.
They 2-9 and they don't know how to.
Y'all they are emboldened.
Yeah.
Y'all sending me tweets at 12 a.m.
Tagging me.
Yeah.
12 a.m. My mama named Stephanie Harris. I don't know how to stop being petty. That's not a thing in our household. So when y'all see me say they started it,
Correct. They started it. They did.
And they have been out of nowhere have gotten very, very, the masses, because it's typically like 1 or 2, maybe 3 that'll try to hold it down for the bunch. But the bunch is out there, and the streets are out there for them. But
They
it's
got
okay
there
because we
banging
got
their
a few
little
more days.
drums.
Uh-huh.
They banging their little drums like they got their instruments on their own. They acting like they be bringing Pepsi to the classic when we know they only bringing check soda. We not trying to stress your pockets. Just bring your check soda.
Sharing helmets? Are they still sharing helmets on the sideline?
I don't know.
Lord.
I don't know.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Supposedly Rick Ross was paying $200,000. I don't know if that money ever
How
came in yet.
unsanitary that is.
They were sharing helmets on the side. One of them will run out of the play, and they take the helmet off and give it to the other person. They were sharing helmets. It's on video.
You can't pay me to do that.
Yeah, sharing helmets, sweat and spit.
No,
bottom
that is
fluid.
nasty.
As Marlo said, they ain't necessarily family. They my daddy's stepkids. That they had to move in the house because it was save money. That's who the people is. So, it's all love. It ain't like some other groups that we have issues with. It's all love mostly. But them little 13 and 13 that y'all got in Orlando, the Florida Classic, it ain't the Orlando Classic. It actually did exist before Orlando. So please understand, you still got almost 30 years of winning to do just to get even.
That's it, just to catch up.
So
we'll be running this race for a long time.
I'm just saying, it's cool to everybody want to thump their chest, not off 2 wins, but everybody want to thump their chest every now and then. Even I am gonna thump my chest next week, knowing I ain't got no right to thump my chest, but I'm gonna thump my chest this week because, like I said, it's fuck Tim Tebow, fuck Chris Lee. Chris Lee, I'm going to invite you on the podcast. It ain't personal. We just, Anyway, real quick, the men are currently down in Gainesville. They actually had played a better second half. Some other people don't think so, but I think they played rather well. I met Coach Curry. I like him. I'm excited for the possibilities. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I ain't a fan of analytics, but when he told me analytics and toughness, I went, I want to see what this is about. I want if this gonna just if they get in the SWAC tournament, I'm gonna be a problem. I'm gonna send my 1887 in, and I'm gonna be a problem on this here podcast because nobody saw it coming.
Right.
Everybody picked them out. I want to say almost dead last.
Yep. Right before Mississippi Valley. That's it.
Yep.
That's where they were. That's where they are.
That's the preseason prediction.
Preseason pick. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they got that wrong. I think they will. I don't know if you guys have seen the competition that they played so far. There's not one sorry school that they played. They might be.
I'm just here to tell you, they gonna be good and battle tested come SWAC season.
Yeah.
So, also, shout out to the women's volleyball team. We don't give them enough love.
That's right.
Josh, I be calling your phone all the time and you don't be responding. I need you to respond to my emails so I can interview the coach, the young ladies. Like, I want to get them on the podcast. So I normally don't call Josh out because that's not how I do things. I like to keep it classy. But you ain't answer my phone call. I feel some type of way about that. I'm an old man. When I call, I expect a phone call back. Even if it's no, just call me and say no. I'm cool with that. But Josh, it's me. It's your boy. Now, ladies,
Troy, you gotta holler at us. We might be able to hook you up a little bit on that with the women's basketball. We got one of our athletes is actually a woman that's signed to the collective. Is actually a women's basketball player. Big Liv. Shout out to Big Olivia Dance.
Yep.
She is a Fang Exchange athlete. So,
and we have connections to some of those other athletes as well.
Yeah, so. And Coach Pressure.
So I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. SWAC Media Day, I was a little intimidated by Coach Pressure. I felt like I I was not. I just felt like I
So
wasn't
personal.
dressed appropriate to approach her to interview her. I was like, no, I need to go back to the hotel. It's not. So I will be reaching out because let me tell y'all don't understand this women's basketball. Women's sports at FAMU, if you know my background, you know my background. I had me a little crush on a softball player back in the day at FAMU. And I was at everything women's when I was in Tallahassee. So listen, God said, come as you are. That's what brought me to the altar. So it is what it is.
Listen, all of our women's sports, I mean, although we have a new softball coach, she's a winner. She's recruiting and making waves even in her short period of time. Like all of our sports are volleyball. Women's basketball is on the rise. Volleyball is already at the mountaintop. It has been for we don't know how long. Softball, I believe, is on the rise. Like women's sports, we have a well-rounded athletic department when it comes to winning and the coaches that we have in the stable. Like we have some amazing coaches and good human beings as coaches.
It is one of the things about FAMU that I tell people all the time, and you're gonna get sick of me talking about them 17 national championships because I don't care about your conference championships. I don't care about the one playoff game you won in 78, but you ain't win a championship. I don't care about all of that. Do you bring home the hardware?
Yeah.
Because last I checked, is FAMU, Grambling, and Southern. Mm-hmm. Everybody else ain't at the big boy table. Mm-hmm. Get mad if you want to. That's just how it is. And people start talking to me about the brand this, and then, okay, that's cool. But I know Skigi got a whole bunch of them things too. Mm-hmm. And y'all ain't jumped them. So until you jump Skigi, what we talking about?
What are we talking about?
So, but congrats to everybody that had a good season this year. I look forward to seeing if y'all can bring home the hardware. 0-3 would be a terrible thing.
It's gonna be 0-3. It's gonna be 0-3.
Terrible thing. But all right, TP, we're gonna. I want to thump my chest about my New York Knicks for 1 second. And as a matter of fact, TP, I feel like I need you to hear me out for a second. I just need you to hear me out for a second. I know I talked noise about Karl Anthony Towns being soft. I know. It was me.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about this because I saw this man live in person.
He was soft. That ain't changed.
20 plus and 12.
Hold on, he might not be that soft. He actually went out there and I seen it in person. So I actually ended up going to the Knicks game on Wednesday when they played the Bulls. They're not really a tough team. Their center Vucevic, he's kind of older. He was okay. That man went and handled business. He was dry. He was shooting like it's cat. He gonna shoot, but he acted like a grown man. Troy, he acted like a grown man. You need to give that man some respect.
You see me hat in hand saying I saw the game. I didn't know you was at the game. We're gonna have to talk about that. But I saw, and I was like, I don't like to admit that I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm wrong. And I'm watching this game, and dude is handling business. Okay, all right, cool, no problem. I apologize. Cool. On the flip side of that, the Philadelphia 76ers need to have their franchise pulled. I'm tired. I am tired. They are the Bethune-Cookman of basketball.
Why didn't get a shot, man?
There is no excuse. I've said many times when the transition to the SWAC happened, there are a lot of sports that should only be FAMU and that school in Daytona. That's it. They ain't one, and the 76ers ain't one. So, you know what? You sitting over there real quiet. But Joel Embiid has been called out for being late to everything. Not the practice, not the meetings, everything.
That was by the best player or the next best player on the team. That's rough.
You know, we are a long ways away from pandemic P as well. Like that was that like 3 teams ago. Like
no, I'm saying Maxey. Maxey was the one that called him out.
Yeah, but like, what are we doing? Joe don't want to play back to backs. They not playing defense. They can't rebound. It's just a dumpster fire at this point. And the Sixers are going to be doing what they did all through the mid 2000s, 2010s. They're going to tank trying to get some picks. Seen them do it on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
They should never be allowed to waste another player's career ever again. Ben Simmons don't count. Markelle Fultz don't count. But the rest of them people that they done ran through, it's enough. You know what? Go ahead and give their franchise to Seattle. Like, this is ridiculous. But again, I'll move on.
Can't not have a major sports team in Philly. That's one of the, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the sport capitals of the United States.
Prove to me that there's an NBA team in Philly. I'll move on. Shout out to Eddie George, 8-3, on the verge of taking Tennessee State to playoffs. Mm-hmm. That'll be a big thing. It'll be one of my mentors as a Tennessee State alum. I believe 75, if I'm not mistaken. Big Tennessee State alum. I can't wait to take him to the hockey game as soon as they have it. But Tennessee State being in this position with all the other stuff that's swirling around, congrats to Eddie George. Now, if North Carolina A&T could just do the same thing, we'll be cooking with grease. We'll definitely be cooking with grease. Also, somebody go give Mike a hug.
Oh, poor Morgan State.
Lord.
I know I crash out. But I have some limits to the people I shoot at. Mike shooting at everybody.
At Morgan State, what they won, like 1 or 2 games? Have they?
Oh,
Jesus.
Jeez.
Let's have a show. I don't know. Shout out to Fios for this wonderfully expensive internet to keep going in and out, but I'll leave them alone too. This is usually the part where I try to get TP in trouble, but Miss TP has not been in the chat, so I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble. Celebration Bowl. We probably need to be in the building for the Celebration Bowl. If Miss TP, if you watching, can TP come hang with the fellas? It's just gonna be Saturday, so it ain't the whole week, just Saturday. And everything.
You know, like when we was kids, we had to ask our mama to go outside.
It's like one of those.
As an almost 40-year-old man, I gotta ask permission to go outside.
Absolutely.
Well,
let alone get on the plane and fly halfway across the country.
Right.
And what weekend is it?
It is
December
the weekend of
14th.
It's like
14th.
mid-December.
Yep.
Yeah.
December
14th.
14th. Might be able to make that happen.
Yeah, at 12 noon. At 12 noon. You know, I find it interesting, and I'm gonna go ahead and beat that dead horse again. That the NCAA and ESPN make sure they find a way to get us on TV at the start of buying season. Because I've said it before, them FCS schools in them playoffs, y'all don't do that for them. I wonder why. Because I know from personal experience, buying them ads, because I tried to buy some Orange Blossom Classic ads. And when I tell you them Fortune 500 companies elbowed me out the way, I was like, oh Jesus, no. That's a mortgage. I can't afford that. And then you tell me what this NIL deal is, I have issues. But the mothership makes sure them ad rates be adding. I just, I would love to throw my feet up and relax and know that like the SWAC head got like $2 million a school a season. I ain't asking for much. I ain't asking for 20, just $2 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't asking for much. But I don't want to run afoul of nobody because I like my SWAC access. Shout out for them people for inviting us. And I also want to say I'm doing better on the cussing. I'm doing much better on the cussing. So growth. It's growth. It's growth. So after football season, we have what I call strike season. We have basketball, the end of volleyball season, and baseball. And as a black man in the South, I didn't think I would fall in love with baseball again as I have these last 3 seasons between that school in Daytona and Grambling. It is nice to have banter around baseball because historically that is supposed to be our sport.
Mm-hmm.
But much like America, the major league has decided that we don't necessarily want black, we want black adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So I am thrilled every time because like after football season, it used to be, oh man, what we gonna do with ourselves?
To August again, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then baseball, softball come around, it's like, all right, so now I gotta spend $120 on everybody's streaming service so I can watch all these games. Cause I ain't finna miss FAMU softball, basketball, or baseball game this year.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, after last season, I need to get my act together. And the women's tennis program,
Mm-hmm.
I need to pay attention to.
And golf.
And golf. Yep.
That's a championship in golf.
Yeah. PGA.
I don't know. Nobody else. Seminole family. Let me be honest with y'all. All right. For all the resources we got, we don't know how to turn shit into sugar. Somebody, I don't know, Skyway Jack, Ski Mask, Alfred, whatever you want to call him, need to get on his little horse and go across the street and figure out what he need to do to get a winner. Because I'm still upset. We played Duke, and you let Shotgun get in his car. Ain't no way that was supposed to happen.
Uh-huh.
Because I saw Duke last year. I know how many points they score per game. And you're going to tell me the only thing he's doing is coaching running backs.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I look like Boo Boo the Fool.
Right.
So, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it respectfully this time. If Shotgun end up at FAU, y'all might as well call Danza bail bonds. It's gonna be smoke in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way that man's supposed to be anywhere other than if that man ain't crossed Gang Street, he shouldn't be nowhere else in the state. Period. Period. People gonna get mad. Why you want FAMU coaches? The man built their program, won the national championship. That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a foundation so that when he decides to leave, the foundation is in place.
Right.
We have not had a foundation since Bobby left. Jimbo ain't do nothing. CTP, see, I said his name and ain't say nothing derogatory about him. See, growth. Ladies, so as we head toward Christmas, what do y'all have sports-wise that you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Well, I'm gonna say I was looking forward to going. Well, I live in Atlanta, but I thought I was gonna be going to the Celebration Bowl, but I guess I won't be. I guess that will not be happening. But and then my Dolphins. I'm a Dolphin fan. My Dolphins fell off. is my other team. I'm originally from Miami. So, I know. I'm a Rattler no though. I did graduate. I got my master's from Florida State, so I'm Rattler no like you. But is my team. I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to postseason play with the Canes. That's about all I got. The rest of my team's gonna let me down.
So I want you just this is a safe space. I don't want you to be disappointed that the playoff committee start whipping it up.
I know.
I already see it, and I
For
don't
Miami?
want to say that. Yes.
For Miami?
Yeah, if Miami stub they toe, before the playoffs, they're not gonna
go. Mm-hmm.
SMU is undefeated right now, and they look good.
Mm-hmm.
SMU got old oil money, and now they ain't gotta hide no more. They can be out in the streets with it.
Yeah.
When Florida State lead the ACC, SMU gonna run roughshod. They got too much money. They got 3 kids around the 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
That's SMU was just sorry a year ago.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they out here like gangbusters.
What is it? NIL? Budget?
NIL
Coaching?
They got old money. Yeah, they got old money.
They got
because in order to go from horrible to great in the season these days, it's got to be a combination of coaching and NIL, right?
And NIL. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important. Although many don't like it. It's got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
It is.
Indiana's the same way. IU.
Indiana, Vandy, SMU.
They got big. does too. The Canes connection. They got some big NIL play. But I think also too what we have to realize is with NIL, a lot of times we sign players and they actually laugh at me when I say it all the time, but they be lemons. You know how you get a car and it's a lemon?
Mm-hmm.
And we sign a lot of those. I'm just saying a lot of times we sign these players and they got these 6-figure contracts on NIL and, not producing. So I think that there has to be some type of there's this dichotomy between what we're actually getting from these players, that whole 5-star, coming out of high school and all that. Some of that just be a bunch of hype. You know what I mean? And that's why, like I said, the Canes, we know, Miami they got the old cocaine
money. Y'all got Ponzi scheme money. I was saying y'all got Ponzi scheme money.
I can't let Troy get away with the disrespect he just threw at SMU. I cannot let you do it. You said they were sorry last year?
What was their record last year, TP?
11-3.
In what conference?
Doesn't matter.
Yes. They was not smelling a playoff spot last year. This year, all they gotta do is
It was only 4 spots last year.
This is true.
and
And we
It
still
was
ain't
only
get
4
in.
spots. And look, and when I look at the losses that they suffered, they lost to TCU, Oklahoma, and Boston College. Those were their only 3 losses. They beat everybody else in one game, 55-0, 69-0 against Prairie View. You know, they beat the teams they were supposed to win. They were supposed to beat last year.
But
And they built off of that success moving into a bigger conference. NIL definitely helped bolster their roster.
Okay.
But that had to do with the media deal that came with them moving into that new conference as well, because some of that money was allocated to bringing in better talent.
And
they brought the good people, not no lemons.
Those media deals are game changers for these conferences, and that's the biggest fight going on from school to school and who wants to be in what conference and
conference to conference.
That's why we don't even have a Pac-12 anymore.
Yeah, exactly. They can't get a media deal.
I keep telling people, if you media is where the money is.
Yep.
Let me tell you how funny this media deal stuff
allows
is.
you to control your destiny.
Hawaii's outgoing president fired the current GM AD because he got them in the Mountain West. Word on the street is if the Pac-12 get their stuff back together, they're going to have a bigger media rights deal.
Wow.
And Hawaii is going to be out in the cold with that Mountain West Conference. It's about to get ugly. That's why when I heard that the SWAC had renegotiated their media deal, I was like, they probably need to be a little tougher because they had they had a stronger leg this time. Like people are clamoring. Like if everybody wants to know how I get my scoops come to me. My side gig, people talk to me. And so that's how I found out about the Clemson ordeal. That's how I found out about all this other stuff. So I'm like, how is all of this stuff happening and the people who supposed to know don't?
Yeah.
Like Florida State is gone from the ACC. The ugliest secret is we either going right into the Big Ten or sit out a year and then go into the Big Ten. That's the ugliest unkept secret in the world. I don't even know why we're in court. This court stuff is just shenanigans. It's just to get some attorneys paid. We already know the outcome. Somebody gonna get a little bit of money and we gone. That's that. But that NIL money is, that media rights deals, though, that's a game changer.
Sure.
And I don't think the Big 12, the ACC, or the AAC are in a position for the long term. Big brands are going to leave the ACC. We know Clemson is gone. We know Florida State is gone. If the war chest get right, Miami's gone. I'm shocked Miami has not already sued. But I think they're going to save their money and see how all of this shake out and then throw the deuces up when everybody else leaves. And it just be a crumbled another Pac-12. ACC ain't long for this work. It's just not. But again, I want to see the SWAC. Me and Fios gonna have to have. It's just we there, and the amount of money, and everybody does. If you don't like money in college football, you're denying yourself the truth from the 90s. It was always big money in college football and college athletics. It always was. I seen the dirty money. I watched it and I went, huh. And then these same people get on TV talking about amateurism. The 90s was a wild time to be a young man because you had coaches saying one thing out one mouth and another thing behind closed doors. So, big time college athletics and all those boosters that wanted to feel important across Gain Street, they now got NIL collectives, or they hijacked the AD job. That really did happen. Which is how you. I'm finna go there. How you don't go to Florida State ever, be the booster president, ain't never been an AD and tell the world if I don't get an AD job, I'm gone. And my fundraisers are gone with me. Excuse my language, ladies, the balls that you gotta have to do that. I don't like him, but I gotta respect him because he was out there like Florida State Circus was still going on, and he still was on the High Wire Act because that was a big one. I gotta give him credit. But again, I don't want to make this my personal hit job. I'm sorry. I gotta be better. TP. Also, did you ask your wife about us going to Africa? I'm just saying, because
I ain't going there.
Khalees be in Zambia. She be in Zambia with the sharks, out on the beach and whatnot. She said we need to come and see all the sights.
Just know she coming too.
I like Miss TP already. I don't know who she is, but I love her.
I'm making this joke only because the blonde haired lady is at work, and I ain't gonna have to deal with nothing I say until after she get off work. But this is something that I do. I try to get TP in trouble, and TP stays out of trouble. Because, I don't get in trouble because I talk tough on the internet. I talk real tough on the internet. I ain't. Would you say, TP? When Debo talk, I be quiet.
But when he leave,
I want to make sure I got everything. My Lightning, they're not looking good right now, but the young, fast squads, that's what happens. They're playing the Penguins. I expected them not to do well tonight. But
they tied it up. Didn't you?
What?
Yeah, they tied it up. They're going to overtime.
All right. We need to have a conversation, TP. These dudes play well, but they don't necessarily play the best defense. And the goal this year is to beat that team at Sunrise. It's definitely to beat that team at Sunrise, Florida. So, I don't know. I think, and just hear me out, we might make some noise in the playoffs because we can score. But until we tighten up that defense, it's gonna look rough. Also, Alexander Ovechkin getting closer to the great one. I don't think he's gonna make it, but he almost had a hat trick. I'm not hating.
He gonna get that, man.
The man is a million years old, and he's chasing. I think he got to get another 50, 60 goals to catch up.
Okay, that's one more season. He got one more in him. He'll be all right. Tough it out.
Father Time's undefeated. Oh.
Not with some people, apparently. Shoot.
LeBron, yeah. How you be the first oldest and the second and third oldest players to get triple doubles in the NBA?
Because that's he's great. Say it with me, Troy.
He is. He is.
And he is the best player that you've ever seen.
Nah.
No. Oh, okay. Well,
I seen Doc live. I ain't never seen Jordan in person. I seen Doc live. The fact he was doing that in some Chuck Taylors, just I don't know what would have happened if they would have gave him some Air Jordans. He might have been sitting on the goal.
Real basketball sneakers, something.
For real. Ladies, we are normally just a basketball podcast today, but we want to get y'all on because I know y'all podcast on Thursdays.
Yes.
So I want to make sure I can get y'all on because it is important to spread the message. It is, for me, it's important for people who look like me, for me to see people who look like me do these things because it shows kids anything is possible. The reason I was taking Ash to every game I went to except homecoming, because I wanted him to see our people in their element. And then he told me I wasn't no real rattler, and I thought I was going to put him out on I-75. So,
you go to this school then?
Shout out to Ash. I got hands, but I'm probably going to have to kick him a couple times. Get too old for this. But, before we run everything, let me, because I know. See if you think Marlo sleep. Yeah, I'm finna put him out there. By the way, I'm a terrible best friend. I root against his team while I'm in his season tickets box. Yeah, I think he's asleep. So Marlo is a construction engineering grad from FAMU. The beautiful softball field y'all see down there. He wanted to give me a second job one summer. I was like, cool, I can use the extra money while I ain't in class. And then he said, we gonna resod the field. Who do what? If you ain't ever been in Tallahassee in the summer when they doing a controlled burn, laying sod was my first and last day at work. Marlo is my boy. I said, yeah, dog, you know I come back tomorrow. No way. It was 90 degrees. It was stuffy, and it was no wind. And I was like, nah. But shout out to Marlo. We're going to do one more commercial, and then we'll get to our parting shots. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna let this one sit. Now, this year with the change in the scheduling with the men's and women's, how can the fans help the team win home games?
Show up, okay? And now they have to show up. If we got to play well, okay? I can't expect them to come to see us play on a Monday. You know how hard it is to go to a game at 7 o'clock on a Monday if they don't think that we're going to be good. If they don't think that we're going to perform and show them a good time. Sports is also a form of entertainment. They want to be entertained. And so we hope the way we play basketball, fast, fun, physical, it's an entertaining way to play. So, for us to do our job and then ask our fans to do their job. And Rattler Nation, there's no prouder fan base in the SWAC. We brag different. I mean, it's what we do.
Absolutely.
And so, just everybody coming, and we're gonna have open practice. We have a football game on Saturday, so we're gonna have an open practice. We haven't really you're the first person to know this. We're gonna have an open practice for a football game. Just try to build the fan base a little bit so they can kind of see what we're doing, see how we go about our business, and build more relationships on campus and in the Tallahassee community.
That weekend was one of the best weekends as a content creator I have ever had. And that's even after SWAC football media day. I got to sit hands-on, talk to the coaches, and ask them like important questions. Because everybody asked them like, oh, what do you look for? No, what can we do? What can we do? And the fact that he broke the fact that he was gonna have practice so the city can come out, he gets it. He gets it, and I love that about him. He gets it. So, um, it's classic week, and for the bulk of my life, that has been the beginning of Thanksgiving. So back in the day, it was Thanksgiving week. Now it's before Thanksgiving, but it's still the start of Thanksgiving season. And it's a part of my family. My family, before I even knew Florida State, Florida, Miami, it was one question: FAMU or FAMU? It wasn't no that school in Daytona. It was, so you root for FAMU, right? And I tell the story all the time. My dad and mama went out of town. I stole my dad in Monte Carlo. And back in the day, where One Buck Place is now, there used to be a place called Tampa Bay Mall. And after the game, we would just ride around the mall. And I was riding around with my dad in Monte Carlo. My dad's best friend saw me, but I saw him with somebody he ain't had no business being with. And I thought, I'm good. I'm good. He ain't gonna say nothing. Shortly thereafter, every Saturday morning, 5:30, my daddy would wake me up. By 6:30, we was at the auto parts store. Whatever needed to be done to his car, I was doing it. He never tell me why until he finally told me, you know, I know you took my car and went to class. But to hear Joe Bullock say, Bethune-Cookman, get your rat off my field, was worth it. It is everything. The Classic is not just a football game. It is a family reunion. It is a gathering of old men. It is everything you could want in an event. And so when I tell people I went to Florida State, I love my time at Florida State. Florida State is a part of me. But I ain't ever gonna miss Classic to go to a Florida State football game. It serves two different purposes. One is rah-rah, the other one feeds my soul. TP, what you got for us this week, man?
I don't have a lot to, you know, it's around bedtime. The kids they getting active. But just what I was speaking about earlier, like, you know, I don't think we appreciate entrepreneurship enough, you know, and like what the ladies are doing, you know, that should be a message to everybody. You know, if you're not doing it, you know, for a nonprofit, if you want to build a business, start with a brand. You know, they happen to represent a school. That is their mission. Their mission is to bring money and, you know, funnel the funds into the NIL program and build that program basically from the bottom up. You know, but for the kids that are in school now, you know, you can be an entrepreneur. It's not, you don't have to go work for anybody. You know what I mean? Starting selling little things here and there, you know, just a reseller. That's a way to start. You know, financial literacy is something that I don't think a lot of people that look like us are taught at an early age. And, you know, we start sowing those seeds early in life and you give them more opportunities to be successful. You know, whether you get a trade, whether you join the military, whether you go to college, whether you start a business, there is always a way for you to be successful in life. And I think that has to be the message that we teach the youth, you know, just going forward. You know, we want to break generational curses. It start with us. You know, we we're in that time frame where, you know, we may have been products of trauma that we experienced as kids, and we weren't taught the things that we know now. But you use that knowledge, and then you bring that into the kids that's coming up now, and then now we're going to bring in a whole new wave of strong Black men and women. So, you know, that's just my message for we.
DK, what you got for us this week?
Well, as we kind of lightly spoke about, I went to the Knicks game. So in that, what I kind of realized though, like, of course, going to the game and all that was fun. But it's been a while since I've gone to an event. I won't lie. And it's I'm kind of exposing myself in a little bit because now I feel like I should be supporting my school. But my thought for the week would be just go support your favorite team, or really was what I'm saying is like go support your schools or support the people or the community of people that have supported you throughout your journey, whether that be the HBCUs, whether that be the university that you went to. Show support because it matters, to those individuals that are there immensely. I remember those days of being on the court, being on the field, and just it wasn't even any particular fan, just anybody that happened to be there, I appreciated it. And it kind of like being there at the Knick game and getting excited and all that. Like I kind of really realized, or again, like just being older, I guess, like the players do care. Like even though there's thousands of people there, they even said it during the pandemic. It's weird. It's weird playing without the fans. So, go show support. And I'm not saying just for the major leagues or the major sports teams. Support. Go to your own school and support them because it goes a long way. Trust, it goes a long way. So that's my speech for the day.
Tashi. You got any last thing, any last words for us? I'm sorry. That's just something we do. We let the guests go last.
No, sure. Just continue to support Fang Exchange at www.fangexchange.com. Join a tier, get a membership. We did not talk about memberships, but we do have memberships. There's a tier that fits everybody, ranging from as low as $10 all the way up to $500. Get a membership, get a t-shirt, get the alcohol, get a hat. We have some more merch dropping, but of course the memberships are always the best because in looking at our budget, we're able to determine how many people we can support, how many athletes we can reach. So our memberships help us to gauge that because it's essentially like a pledge. But please follow us on every platform. We are the same: Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Fang Exchange. Ashley.
Yeah, you pretty much covered most of what, the spiel of who we are and what we are and what we do. Thank you for having us on to kind of spread to another audience. It's always important for us because, like I said, we are still actively climbing and building. So presence is everything. Social media, YouTube, in person, wherever we can be. It's always good to be somewhere in a new set of people and for people to get to know who we are, what we are, and what we do. So thank you. Mr. Shays already gave a spiel on what we do, and come see us on Thursdays on YouTube as well. Just about every Thursday, we are, unless otherwise announced, we are there speaking about Fang Exchange, our athletes, our programs, and having just good conversations. And we know we throw a little NIL in there as well to kind of keep the conversation going and keep our those interested engaged and gain some more viewership.
Well, I'm going to say a couple things because I know this time of year everybody gets caught up. The thing that grows the audience is if you love, I'll take FAMU out of it. If you love a school and you support that school, go ahead and get involved in the rivalries, get involved in the NILs. It is the community's involvement that grows the revenue of those universities.
Yep.
So if you're in Tallahassee and you've been suffering through a 1-9 season, go ahead and check out that school across Game Street.
Absolutely.
I promise you, it will change your life. I remember the beach ball at the game. That back in the 90s was just the wildest thing to me because that would have never happened. Never happened at a Florida State game. But for everybody here at the Madness Basketball Podcast, Fang Exchange, thank y'all for coming out. Real quick, we will no longer be on Samsung Podcast. Samsung Podcast is going away, so we will no longer be there, but we will still be in every platform in every living room. Thank you for coming out. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.